Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. Growing up, my mother had a phrase that I just really, every time I heard it, I would cringe because you knew that this simple little phrase was you were being told off. I find myself using that now with my children. My children didn't need it so much, probably because my mother was around when they were little, um, but my granddaughter does. And that phrase is this: signifying is worse than stealing. I'm just pausing because I can feel some of you going, ooh, I haven't heard that in years, and you just nailed me because you grew up with it. If you look up the word signifying, it's an indication of, giving an indication of. And then there's another definition under it that talks about African American folklore and games. And it's the signifying monkey that exists in Yoruba folklore that came over to the Americas from Africa, and he's the trickster in the folklore. And I mean, you can get into the Uncle Remus and the Harlem Tales if you want to, but I'm okay. Anyway, when my mother said signifying is worse than stealing, what she meant was that we were asking for something without asking for something in a way that would try to force someone else to give you something that you didn't even have the decency to ask for, the kindness, the respect. So, in other words, if she were baking a pie for someone, maybe my brother would say, "Ooh, Mom, you making a pie? That's my favorite pie. You make pies so good. Your pies are so delicious." Now, we know that pie is not for us, but he'd stand there and go, "Ooh, your pies are so delicious." And she'd look up and go, "Signifying worse than stealing." or or if someone was doing something that you like and you go, "Oh, that's my favorite. That's the best. Oh, when you do this is the best thing you ever do. That's your best." In other words, you're saying, "Just give me more of that." Signifies worse than stealing. And sometimes my granddaughter will come in the room and say, I like apples." It's completely non sequitur. Signifying is worse than stealing. And now I've come to understand why my mother was bothered by it. That even without this attempt to manipulate people into doing what you want them to do, without the kindness of saying, "Thank you so much for what you do. Can you give me more of this?" And I think she understood that we knew that we weren't going to say, "Give me more of this." Yes. We just were not going to. We were going to be grateful for whatever we got. And I find myself more lately, I'll say in the last couple of years, hearing so much signifying that things are not enough in your own life, that you need to step into someone else's life and manipulate them. I don't flatter. I tell people the truth, but I am quick to give a compliment, especially if I see beauty or love or kindness. I simply share it. But when um, we use compliments in a backwards way to try to manipulate someone into something that we want them to do, I can hear my mother signify is worse than stealing. I love you.